listening to She Speaks Talk Radio, where women's words are changing the world.
Hi, and welcome to Life is Precious show with me, your host, Lindsay Randerson, exploring the ability within each of us to transform our health and live a precious life. I'm delighted to be joined this morning by Mari Craig, fellow show host of Small Steps to Wellness and a health ambassador. Morning, Mari, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. And you forgot to say we both study culinary medicine as well, don't we, together?
Yes, we do. Yes, and that's how we both met, wasn't it? So
yes,
we met online through the course.
Exactly. Yes, I remember seeing your Instagram profile, thinking, oh, she's kind of got the same idea as me with the whole different ways of getting to wellness. I like this profile, and I love all your pictures from your nature walks and everything. So yeah, it was really nice to connect that way.
Yeah, it's lovely to to be able to reach out to different people and to see what everybody else is doing, because we've all got different journeys, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, there's so much negativity around social media, but that's really one of the things that's really good about it, that you can meet like-minded people, because when you're so I shouldn't really say obsessed with health, but yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with it. It can feel a bit lonely sometimes. So it's good to find like-minded people, even if they live in a completely different part of the country to you. So yeah, good to connect.
Yeah, definitely good to connect, Mari. So I'm going to just sort of start with where your journey started, really, because I know a little bit about your journey, but I don't know the starting point for you. So just share a little bit about where your journey to wellness sort of started.
Do you know what? That's really it's a hard question really to answer, because I normally start talking about when I had my second child, and that's really when I decided. And now the puppy's awake, so excuse the barking. So I normally start talking about how I felt when my second child was born. But looking back, I think I grew up in a house with really nice food. Just ate really well, but I never knew the connection between eating and health and any of those things. My dad was a pharmaceutical rep, for goodness sakes. There was always a painkiller that could solve the problem. So I kind of grew up with nice food, but I didn't understand the connection. And I always grew up also thinking that if I wanted to look a certain way, I had to eat less and move more. That was kind of what I knew. And that's got nothing to do with my parents. It was just, because I think a lot of people still are being told that that's what they need to do. So that's kind of how I grew up. And I was sort of one of the shorter people in my school, and I always wanted to be the tall and slim one, and that wasn't ever going to happen. And it was, so I've been very self-conscious for a very, very long time. And then, so that's kind of, I've been wondering, when did this all start?
Because is there like a defining moment?
Yeah, certainly. So this is when this whole thing started, when I had my second child. So she's 6 now. So this was back in 2015. I don't exactly know why I did this, but I signed up to this postnatal class that dealt with just exercise and nutrition. And I learned for the first time about, because that sounds insane, but just eating different foods. And that was really interesting. And I was off caffeine for 6 weeks with the newborn. It was insane. And then I had this recurring cold that just wouldn't shift. And I spoke to one of my friends who I trust, and she recommended some whole food supplementation to me. And I trust her, and so I tried that, and touch wood, the winter cold hasn't come back since, and that was 6 years ago. But what that did was that it became a catalyst for further change, because I always kind of struggled a bit with breakfast, and I was just always so hungry. And so I started learning about how I could fuel my body to give me the energy I needed, and that could sort of sustain me for hours. I think looking back that I had some blood sugar issues, but I didn't know that then.
Yeah.
But I think it was really when my second child was born, that I started looking into, okay, how can I eat to really nourish my body? And so I did little things at a time. If you talk to people who knew me back then, they'll be like, if you go around Mari's house, there's going to be cake. She's always going to be baking some sort of cake. I loved it. I mean, they didn't look very nice, but they tasted amazing, right? And what I started doing was literally just then, because I'd had this sort of bit of a catalyst from my friend and from this postnatal class, I started just making little changes to everyday items that I was doing. And this is where Small Steps to Wellness kind of was born, because I started reducing my sugar. And then I thought, oh, I wonder if this cake can deal with a bit of wholemeal flour, all of these things. So I think, 6 years ago, I'd say, really. And then I've been looking back, realizing all of these things that I didn't know then that I know now. It's been, I'm a very different person now to what I was growing up.
And I think that's the key, isn't it? It's sort of taking one change and then just keeping that, because that will become the new habit, the new norm. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't feel great, and you need to adapt and have fun with it. I would say to people, it's really important to be curious. It's really important to have fun with food, to enjoy and love what you're cooking, love and get kids involved, and get hubby involved, and so that becomes a real great foundation for health, is when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Absolutely.
People, they get trapped, don't they?
And also food, so the way I kind of understood food up until that point was like, I kind of always wished, and this is not health, right? But I always wished that I was about 5 kilos, that 10 pounds lighter. That was but I knew that I just couldn't do it, because I have to starve myself. And it created this horrible sort of negative connotation to food. And that's not serving anyone, right? And also, that's not the mum I wanted to be, this mum that always had to worry about what she was, or how much she was eating. But this whole revelation then was that, oh my goodness, there's so much good food out there that's going to nourish me, that's going to sustain my energy. And wouldn't you know it, is also going to help me shift that stubborn way that I was. And I keep saying this to people, it really is. I mean, and I think if you go onto my Instagram, you won't see me talking much about weight, because it isn't a big thing. It was back then, but that wasn't why I was making the changes. I just wanted to get healthier, and it became this massive bonus that I thought, my goodness me, I'm eating all this amazing food. I don't count anything. I'm just enjoying really good food. I'm able to share this with my husband, with my children. And as a result, I feel healthier, but I'm also losing this extra that I thought I just had to live with or starve myself to get rid of. I mean, it's been such a revelation.
The old diet culture is still very prevalent, isn't it?
It's so toxic.
Absolutely. I think that's right, that we've sort of not so much grown up, but it's become very societally, that if you eat less and exercise more, that's the way to sort of lose weight, and it just doesn't work, so
it could work in the short run, but it certainly did not make for a very happy person for me, and it certainly didn't become something that I could sustain. So what I'm really passionate about now is to share with people how you can just eat loads of nice foods, and to have a healthy lifestyle, because it's not about something that you do short term. It's about having a really healthy lifestyle that you can sustain, not something that mommy's doing this. We're all in it together.
Absolutely. And I think that longer term focus on health, what is it that you really enjoy doing, that you can sustain, it's for your life, that long-term health, if you like, is the investment in yourself.
Oh, totally. I feel so much better now. I just turned 40. I feel so much better now than I did 10 years ago when I was 30. And it's just incredible how, I mean, you would have thought it goes the other way around, but I just, I feel like I've just sort of discovered some sort of secret that was hidden in plain sight. That, it's, 90% chocolate is really tasty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when the penny drops as well, isn't it? You can sort of start to, the little jigsaw pieces start to be put into place, and then it becomes whole. It's a whole approach to health, 360 approach to health.
Yes, exactly. And I think you're the same, aren't you? You also look at taking one thing, turning it into a habit, and then adding on the next thing, instead of thinking I'm going to do everything at once. And then it becomes too much, and then you feel like a failure, and then you give up. So I think that's also one of the things that I liked when I connected with you on Instagram, was that you had the same approach to kind of do the little things every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And by that, it's sustainable, and also then, if things aren't quite right, what it is, and then you can make adaptations, and you can change, and you can, alter, and you can be curious and have fun with it. And if it doesn't work, you have options then. I think there is this sort of overwhelm of like the New Year's resolution, isn't it? I'm going to lose so much, pounds. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to do, couch to 5K. And it lasts for 3 weeks.
But also, even if you lose that weight, then what?
Yeah,
then what
absolutely. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
education and the knowledge as well around that. It's really important.
Yeah, I think so. And this is the same thing with I use this online coach, and I've just finished my 5th workout in a week. So
I
I
know,
feel
you're
really,
so
really proud
good.
of that.
Well done.
Yeah, but he also says it's a bit tricky if you say, oh, I'm going to get back on it on Monday. And I feel the same way. I think if you're going to get back onto anything, get back on it midweek. Don't make it into such a big deal come January or come Monday or come next month. Just start now and do something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how. I never did. I mean, I never exercised. Goodness me, that was the next step on my journey to wellness. Really was exercising, because I'm not an exercise person. No way. Never enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
you wouldn't think that if you see me now, would you?
And the lovely thing, Mari, is that you've always got a really great smile on your face. It's something that you obviously do enjoy. Your Instagram. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important. We're enjoying this change, enjoying the knowledge, enjoying the education, and now about what it is that is feeding and nourishing and supporting all your body. You're more likely to continue that.
Yeah, but I think what I need to add to that is that, or a few things actually, because we all expect results immediately. And that's why we diet, because we want results immediately. And I think it's really, really important to remember that when you're making lifestyle changes, that you have to have patience. You have to have, you love yourself and respect yourself and trust the process, and just know that it will take time, and that's okay, because I'm doing this for the long run, for my health, for my family, for the every reason you're doing it. I think that's a really, really important thing to remember. And the other thing was that, and I'm speaking from experience with all of this, is that it's also easy to become a bit obsessed with, oh, is this healthy enough? Or is this okay? Or so, as you said, like, have a bit of fun with it, and don't beat yourself up completely. If you're having, I love cake, right? If you're having too much cake, just think, okay, I really enjoyed that cake. That was amazing. And let's carry on, with our healthy approach. Because I think I got to a point where I was just like, so obsessed also with everything being certain way or made with certain ingredients, that I then kind of stopped enjoying it a little bit. So I had to kind of reassess and go, okay, Mari, just chill out a little bit. It's okay, because if this is the other thing, we are doing something that we kind of know isn't good for us, as it were. Food is just food, by the way. It's not good or bad food, it's just food. But if we're eating something that is perceived as bad, then we're feeling guilty about it. It's like a double negative then. So we've eaten something that doesn't serve our body, and then we're feeling guilty about it. you know, I'm thinking if we're going to do something, you know, have that glass of wine or have the chocolate, whatever, enjoy it,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And it needs
Yeah.
to be, you know, like 80-20 rule, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that you can't ever have a cake or, you know, a lovely glass of wine, but you know, it's a sort of something that you can have, and enjoy that when you have it, but it's not the norm every day. You know, it's not this sort of, you know,
Exactly.
it's not a slice of cake every lunchtime every day, you know, with your whatever you're having. But the 80-20 rule is a great rule to stick with.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree with you. It's and also makes those moments, and when you do have that cake, makes it special. I said to my children, because they were like, "Oh, you know, it's like really annoying Christmas song. Excuse me. I wish it could be Christmas every day. Like, wouldn't be fun then, would it?
That's a
You know,
song.
you wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. So it's I think it's important to have balance with everything, and be compassionate with yourself, and be patient as well.
That's a lovely
Yeah,
way to finish off, Mari. Thank you so much. It's
that's
been a
okay.
pleasure to have a chat with you.
Yeah,
And
you too.
yeah, and we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.